morning students. Previously about solutions we discussed mole fraction, molality and molarity, weight percentage, volume percentage, weight volume percentage and parts per million, and on the basis of that one we do some problems in previous videos. Now today we discuss about the solubility, that means dissolution process. So solids are soluble in liquids, and liquids in liquids, and gas in liquids, that will be happens and make into solution. So what is solubility, how those are affect, what are the factors affecting the solubility, that will be discussed today session. Okay, so first of all, what is solubility? It is defined as the maximum amount of substance. It is defined as the maximum amount of substance dissolved in specific quantity of solvent is known as which one? Solubility. Clear? Once observe the definition. This is defined as which one? The maximum amount of substance dissolved in specific amount of a solvent is known as which one? Solubility. For example, take a beaker and pour an ml of water. To this 100 ml of water, add NaCl, sodium chloride. That means take a tablespoon and add into the which one? Solvent. What is the solvent here? Water. And stir it. When what happened? The first tablespoon will completely dissolve. Now again add one more tablespoon. Then what happened? It will also be dissolved. So if we continuously add a certain quantity, for example, each tablespoon is 5 grams. Let us assumption. So for example, 4 tablespoons are added. That means 4 tablespoons of salt also will be dissolved. So 4 into 5, how much? 20 grams. So for fifth spoon, if you add, then what happen? The solute will not dissolve in it. That means here the maximum amount of solute. What is the solute here? Sodium chloride. So the maximum amount of solute is dissolved. Even though you are at the next spoon, you are added to extent, the solute will not dissolve. That means the maximum amount of the substance dissolved in that one which one? 20 grams. That is the solubility of 100 ml of water. So that's an example like that. So every solute or every solvent have like that only. That means here one thing you remember, from the first spoon there is an able to extent of solubility. Am I right? That means the solution at the time is called as unsaturated. Unsaturated. When? For the first spoon. For the second spoon also dissolved. Means it is, at the time also it is unsaturated. For the third spoon also it dissolves. That means at the time also it is unsaturated. Fourth spoon. After the fourth spoon, if you add a fifth spoon of sodium chloride, then what happened? It doesn't dissolve. That means the solution will be saturated. That is the maximum amount what will be dissolved, that will happens. That will happen. So the extent of what we add the fifth tablespoon of salt, it will not dissolve. So that's why until the fifth spoon it is unsaturated. Once the fifth spoon is added, it does not dissolve, means then the solution is gets saturated. I think you learn about the saturated, unsaturated, supersaturated solutions in your previous class. That means in 10th class or whatever it may be. Yep. So that's why saturated, unsaturated. So whenever saturate, the maximum extent of solute will be dissolved. That means the maximum amount of substance will be dissolved is said to be which one? Solubility of the solvent. Clear now? That is the solubility of solute. Clear? So that is about the which one? Solubility. That means here the solubility depends upon what is the nature of solubility. Depends on which one? Nature of solvent and solute. Second one, which one? Temperature. Third one, pressure. So first of all, what is the nature of solvent and solute? That means like substances dissolved in like one. That means sodium chloride, ammonium chloride, alcohol and sugar. These substances soluble in water, whereas these NaCl or sodium chloride like substances doesn't dissolve in benzene, like organic solvents like as ether, carbon tetrachloride, everything. That means the polar substances are soluble in polar solvent like as a water. What we have previously studied in a chemical bond in our lower class. So all the ionic compounds are polar compounds. All the ionic compounds are which one? Electrostatic. That means those are easily ionizable in water. So that's why those are soluble in which one? Water. But they are not soluble in which one? Non-polar solvents like as ether, benzene, carbon tetrachloride, like that. Whereas naphthalene, anthracene, benzene like substances are dissolved in CCl4, ether, such like organic solvents. That means these non-polar covalent bonds are soluble in which one? Non-polar solvents like as carbon tetrachloride, ether. So here once observe, like substances are dissolved in, like means the polar substances, the polar compound, the ionic compounds are soluble in polar solvents like as a water, whereas the non-polar covalent compounds are soluble in which one? Non-polar solvents like as a ether, carbon tetrachloride, like this. So that's why that depends upon the which one? Nature of solute as well as nature of solvent. That means naphthalene is not soluble in water, whereas NaCl not soluble in carbon tetrachloride. So depend upon the which one? Both the solvent as well as solute will be the solubility depends. And temperature and pressure will be effect on which one? Solubility. How does the effect will be? Later we discuss about that. Okay. That means solubility of solids in liquids. Solubility of solids in liquids. So here liquid is the which one? Solvent. Solid is the solute here. So in generally. So what happened? The substances is easily soluble in which one? Liquids. That means the temperature will affect the solubility of solids in liquid. Means here the solubility of a solid depends on temperature. In previous example, once you observe, once we get the saturation solution, the fifth spoon is not dissolved. Am I right? So if the solution is gently heated, then add the fifth spoon. Then what happened? The fifth spoon also will be dissolved. That means what happened? While you are heating the solution, the solubility slightly increases. Again, while you are cooling the solution, whatever the material, whatever the substance extent adding, that will be comes out. That means is called as a crystallization. That means one crystallization. So here the solids is easily soluble in liquids. That means the dissolution processes. The dissolution process. So the dissolution process means here the solubility is two types. One is exothermic in nature and another one is endothermic in nature. That means if the dissolution process means dissolving process. So the dissolution process is exothermic. Then what happened? For example, calcium oxide when dissolved in water gives calcium hydroxide with the liberation of which one? Heat. That means in the case of dissolution, if we increase the temperature, then what happens? The solubility of calcium oxide will be decreases. That means in case of exothermic dissolution, if the temperature is increases, the solubility decreases. Clear? That means the dissolution process of a solid in which one? Liquid is in exothermic. Then what happens? If the temperature is increases, the solubility decreases because in that reaction heat is evolved. So it is in which one? Exothermic process. So for exothermic process, if the solubility is, that means if the temperature is increases, the solubility will be decreases. Whereas in the case of endothermic reaction, what happens? For example, NH4Cl is dissolved in water, it absorbs heat energy and make a which one? NH4Cl solution. NH4Cl solution. Here heat is absorbed, means it is a which one? Endothermic. So for endothermic reactions, for endothermic dissolutions, if the temperature is increases, the solubility also increases. Clear? That means in case of solids in liquids, the dissolution process is if in exothermic, then the temperature increases, the solubility will be decreases. Whereas in the case of the dissolution is endothermic in nature, then what happened? If we increase the temperature, the solubility of the solid in liquid is increases. That means the temperature will affect the solubility of solids in liquids. Clear? Okay. So now the solubility of gases in liquids. What happened in the case of? What about the effect of temperature? Temperature is over. What about the effect of pressure? Almost pressure will not affect the solubility of solids in which one? Liquids. What happened? Almost pressure will not affect. Pressure will not affect solubility of solids in liquids. Only the temperature will affect. So how the temperature will affect means, if it is an exothermic, temperature rises means solubility decreases. If it is an endothermic means the temperature increases, the solubility increases. So in the case of pressure, it doesn't affect the solubility of solids in liquids. Now another one. Solubility of gases in liquids. Solubility of gases in liquids. So here the solubility of gases in liquids mostly affected by two components. One is pressure, and another one is temperature. These two components are mainly affect the solubility of gases in liquids. So how that affects and what are the effect, and that means how the pressure affects the solubility of gas in liquids will be discussed now. So effect of pressure. Effect of pressure. Generally, solubility of gases in liquids increases with the increase in pressure. What happened? Generally, solubility of gases in liquids increases with increase in pressure. That means if the pressure increases, the solubility of gas also will increase. How affects, and that quantitative relation between solubility and which one? Pressure given by the familiar scientist, which one? Henry. What one? The quantitative relation between solubility of gas in liquid and pressure. The quantitative relation between which one? Solubility of gas in liquid and pressure given by Henry as a Henry's law. As a Henry's law. So what is Henry's law? And according to Henry, how the solubility affected by which one? Pressure. That will be given as a which one? Henry's law. So Henry's law defined as Henry's law defined as which one? The partial pressure of the gas in vapor phase above the surface of the solution is directly proportional to mole fraction of the gas present in the solution or solvent. Clear? So that is the which one? Henry's law. The partial pressure of the gas in vapor phase above the surface of the solution is directly proportional to mole fraction of the gas present in the solution or a solvent. So here a relation between which one? Quantitative relation between solubility of the gas and which one? Pressure. So the solubility of the gas is which one? Directly proportional to mole fraction. That means the solubility of the gas which is vaporized, volatile, that will be, it exerts some pressure, that vapor pressure is directly proportional to which one? Mole fraction of the gas which is present in the solvent or solution. That is which one? The partial pressure already represents with P. P is directly proportional to which one? Mole fraction of the gas. Mole fraction is the percentage X. So that means P equal to some proportionality constant where KH and X. X means even mole fraction of the gas which is dissolved in the solution. So here KH is called Henry's constant. Henry's constant. Clear? So that is the relation given by which one? Henry. That means the solubility of a gas in liquid will be affected by both two quantities, which are pressure and temperature. First of all, while you are studying about the effect, solubility of a gas in liquids increases with increase in pressure, as well as the quantitative relation between the solubility and which one? Pressure is given by the familiar scientist Henry. That one called as which one? Henry's law. So what the Henry's law means? The partial pressure of the gas in vapor phase above the surface of the which one? Solution is directly proportional to the mole fraction of the gas present in the solution or solvent, that is proportional to X gas, and P equal to, while you are removing the proportional, multiplied with the proportional constant KH and X gas. X means here the mole fraction of the gas. So here KH is called as which one? Henry constant. And what about the Henry constant? Here, according to Henry's law, we know that the partial pressure is proportional to which one? Mole fraction of the gas. That equals to P equal to KH into which one? Mole fraction of the gas. So once observe here, KH is called as a which one? Henry constant. Henry's constant. So here the KH value is higher, means the solubility of the gas is lower. That means while the KH value is more, then the solubility of the gas will be less or lower. That means while the temperature increases, what happens? The KH value of the gases are increases. Then what happens? The solubility of the gas will be decreases. That means if the KH value is lower, means the solubility of the gas is high. So that is the difference. So here depend upon the which one? KH value. KH value is higher. That means if the solubility for any gas is KH value is higher, means the solubility of the gas is lower. If the KH value is lower, means the solubility of the gas is higher. So that is the which one? Henry's law. So according to Henry's law, what are the given? The partial pressure of the given gas, that means the partial pressure of the gas in a solution is directly proportional to which one? Mole fraction of its gas, and depends upon the which one? The KH value. The KH value is more, means the solubility is less, whereas the KH value is less, means the solubility is more. Clear? Now effect of temperature. Effect of temperature. So while the temperature increases, what happens? The KH values increases. If the temperature increases, then the KH value increases. That means the solubility of the gas decreases. So what happened here now? The temperature increases, means the KH value increases. So KH value is higher, means what about? The solubility is lower. So the temperature also will affect the which one? Solubility of gas in liquid. That means the solubility of any gas increases with decrease in temperature. So that's why the aquatic animals are more comfortable in which one? Cold water than warm water, because in cold water the solubility of oxygen is more than which one? Warm water. So that's why the aquatic animals are more comfortable in cold water. Because of when the temperature increases, what happens? The KH value increases. KH value increases means the solubility decreases. Solubility decreases means the presence of oxygen in water will be decreases. So not comfortable. So that's why the aquatic animals are comfortable at which one? Cold water. So that is the effect of which one? Temperature. Okay. Now, what are the applications of Henry's law? Applications of Henry's law. Applications of Henry's law. First one, to increase the solubility of carbon dioxide in soft drinks. To increase the solubility of CO2 in soft drinks like Pepsi, Sprite, like such soft drinks, the bottles are sealed under higher pressure. For reason to increase the solubility of CO2 in soft drinks, the bottles are sealed with under high pressure. Then what happens? While the pressure increases, the solubility in the solubility of the gas in the liquid is increases. And the one. And one more thing, most important here, while you are going altitudes, what happen in the pressure? Pressure will be decreases than the which one? Plateau. That means than the plain areas. So while you are going upwards, what happen? The pressure increases. So the pressure increases means what happen? The amount of oxygen dissolved will be decreases. So decrease in the dissolution, what happen? Sufficient oxygen is not reached to the tissues as well as in the blood. Then what happen? The people who lived in altitudes, like as in hill areas, they getting a deficiency of oxygen, which is called as anoxia. Which one? A deficiency of oxygen. So deficiency of oxygen means while the altitude increases, what happens? The pressure will be decreases. Whenever the pressure will be decreases means the solubility decreases. So the solubility decreases means the oxygen which is present in hill areas will be not sufficient to the blood as well as which one in tissues. So that's why the people are getting which one a disease called as which one? Anoxia. As well as same as in the case of scuba divers. Scuba divers means the people who dives into the depth of oceans as well as the seas. Those fellows are carrying with which one? Oxygen cylinders. That oxygen cylinder not consisting in only oxygen. It also having with the nitrogen as well as diluted with the helium. So while the person goes into the depth, then what happen? The pressure will be increases. So the pressure will be increases means what happen? The solubility of oxygen as well as the nitrogen increases in blood. While at once the scuba divers wants to come out, then happen suddenly the pressure will be decreases. So whenever the pressure will be decreases, what happen? The gas which is dissolved in blood already that wants to come out. So while that's come out, they make bends. Bends means the doesn't free flow of blood. That bends will causes a severe like as strokes as well as dangerous to health. Those will be to avoid which one? Bends are avoid by diluting which one? Like the gases helium as well as which one? Nitrogen finals. So all these are the applications of which one? Henry's law. So according to Henry's law, these are the most important. To increase the solubility of CO2, the soft drink will be sealed with which one? Under high pressure. And the people who lived in hill areas, the percentage of oxygen will be gradually decreases. That means insufficient of oxygen called cause which one? Anoxia. And the scuba divers means the people who dives into the oceans or seas, the fellows carries with the oxygen cylinders. The oxygen cylinders get diluted with which one? Helium or nitrogen gas. To avoid the which one? Bends. To avoid the bends. Clear? So that is the which one applications of Henry's law. Now, vapor pressure of liquid liquids in solutions or the vapor pressure of liquids in vapor pressure of liquid solutions. Till now we discussed about which one? Solids soluble in liquids, that means the solids which are dissolved in liquids make a solution, that one, as well as gases in liquids. Now we discuss about the which one? The vapor pressure of liquid solutions. That means if the two solutions are made up of by two different liquids which are volatile, volatile means without giving any external heat energy, they itself come into vapor state. Such are called as which one? Volatility, and the phenomenon is called as volatile. Like as the best example, vinegar. Vinegar means acetic acid. If we open the vinegar bottle and kept it outside or in your room, after one day or after several hours, what happened? The vinegar vapors are spread all over the room. Here we don't supply any external heat energy, but what happens? That liquid converts into vapor phase itself. Such phenomena is called as volatile. If the solution consisting of such kind of liquids, which kind of liquids? Volatile liquids. That means the solution if made with the volatile liquids, then what happens? The liquids will get vaporized. That vapor pressure will also affect the which one? Solubility. That quantitative relation is given by the familiar scientist which one? Famigos Martin Raoult. That one is called as Raoult's law. That means if a binary component or a binary solution have A and B, which are two volatile liquids. So if these two volatile liquids make a solution, the component A mole fraction is XA and the component B mole fraction is X. The component A mole fraction is XA, the component B mole fraction is X. So what happens if the two liquids are in a closed container, what happens is solubility. Means that solubility will be explained by which one? Raoult. The one is called as which one? Raoult's law. For which one? According to Raoult's law, for a solution of according to Raoult's law, for a solution of volatile liquids, the partial pressure of each component for a which one? Volatile liquids solutions, the partial pressure of each component is directly proportional to which one? mole fraction of directly proportional to mole fraction of that component in the solution. Once observe, for a solution of volatile liquids, what happened? The partial pressure of each component is which one? Directly proportional to mole fraction of that component. That is called as which one? Raoult's law. That means the quantitative relationship between partial pressure and mole fraction given by which one? Raoult's. So it is called as which one? Raoult's law. So according to Raoult's law, for a volatile liquid solutions, the partial pressure of each component is directly proportional to mole fraction of that component of the solution, component present in the solution. So here two components, binary components are there. What are the A and B? And its mole fraction is which one? XA. And its mole fraction is which one? XB. So here the partial pressure is PA and the partial pressure is PB. The pure solvent vapor pressure is which one? P naught A, and the pure solvent or the pure substance vapor pressure is P naught B. That means, according to him, the partial pressure, which one? PA, component B, is directly proportional to mole fraction of which one? XC. And while you removing the proportionality constant, PA is multiplied with which one? P naught A into XC. Clear? So according to which one? Raoult's law. So here there are the two components are volatile liquids. So volatile liquids means they are vaporized itself. That means they are having external pressure applied on which one? Solution. These are the vapor phases. This vapor will also be act some pressure on this which one? Solution. That means that partial pressure of each component is directly proportional to which one? Mole fraction of the component which is dissolved in the solution. So P proportional to XA and PA equal to 1. Similarly, partial pressure of B equal to which one? Proportional to XB. And it is written as which one? PB equals to P naught B. So according to Dalton's law of partial pressure, Dalton's law of partial pressure, P total equal to what happened? PA plus E. Am I right? According to which one? Dalton's law of partial pressure, P total equal to which one? PA plus PB. Nothing but PA means P naught A XA plus P naught B XB. We know that XA plus XB equal to, from the mole fraction definition, equal to 1. That means XA equal to 1 minus XB. While you are substituting the value here, P naught A, instead of XA equal to which one? 1 minus XB, that equal to plus P naught B. That means P naught A minus P naught A XB plus P naught B XB. While that will be written as which one? P naught A. Here XB is common. That means you remove that one. Plus XB, which one? P naught B minus P naught A. Here So finally we got P total equal to which one? P naught A plus XB PB minus PB naught P naught A. That is the which one? Raoult's law. That means the total partial pressure or the total pressure of a given liquid solution is expressed in a single mole fraction component of any one constituent. Here XB, where you write as an XA. Clear? So that's why finally what we conclude here, the total vapor pressure of a volatile liquid solution can be expressed any one of its mole fraction. Here it is XB, while you write as well as from this one also, which one? XB equal to what happened? 1 minus XA. If you substitute it here, the same value will be get, but here we get a which one? XA. Here, that is the which one? Raoult's law. Here.